All right, we're trying to figure out the store's revenue in December was how many times the average of its revenues in November and January. Okay. Well, let's read the problem and just write down what equations come out. Revenue in November was 2/5 December. So 2/5 times December. And its revenue in January was 1/4 of its revenue in November. And we were trying to find, it talks about the average of its revenues in November. So in November plus January, and that's 2 months divided by 2, that's how you find the average. So I want to find November plus January. All right. Okay, well, let's see here. Let's take 2/5 D and substitute it in here for N. That's another name for N. So January is 1/4 times 2/5 D, and 2 we're going to 4 twice. So that's January equals 1/10 D. So I know what? I know November is 2/5 D plus January is 1/10 D over 2. Now I want to go back and talk about why I substituted in for N here. See, now I've got, when I look at my average, I've got one variable and it's just D. And that's, and if you look at what we're trying to find, then the store's revenue in December was how many times? So I need to have an equation in terms of December. Oops, AVG, that's average. So if I look at this, this is a complex fraction because you get a fraction within a fraction. And if I look at my secondary denominators, the 5 and the 10, the least common denominator for a 5 and a 10 would be a 10. So I want to multiply top and bottom by 10. 10 over 10 is 1. I can multiply anything by 1. Now when I multiply 10 times 2/5 D, 5 are going to 10 twice. That's going to give you 4D. 2 times 2 is 4. Plus, when I multiply the second term by 10, 10's canceled. I'm just left with a D over 2. So, and this is the average, of course. So 4D plus D, that's 5D over, I didn't multiply the 2 by 10 here. I've got to do that as well. Oops, got to do that as well, so that should be 20. So 5D over 20. And of course, that's going to be 5D over 20. That's 1/4 D. And we're trying to figure out, then the store's revenue in December was how many times the average. So if I multiply both sides by 4, I've got 4 times the average equals December. So your answer's 4.